guys, I believe it is time to have something stylish today. Yes, what we're doing today on Cooking with SonicBlu is going to go into our most expensive mode here. Now, as you can see, we are in a very unstylish kitchen. I mean, how can you work in a kitchen like this? I cannot work under such conditions. How do you expect me to work in conditions such as these? Well, after we serve up some lamb, you might actually be talking like that too. We are using 3 lamb shoulder chops. That sounds painful. Oh! I would hate to be the lamb to have his shoulder chopped off, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, we have three. I'm not a lamb though. I'm thankful for that. we have 3 beautiful lamb chops with the bone in, and we're going to just walk you through all of the things we're going to do. First, we're going to take these lamb shoulder chops and we're going to cut them in half, but not all the way, just enough to form a cavity. We are going to add minced garlic in the middle of it, and we are going to stuff it with some good old feta cheese. No, not feet cheese, feta cheese. Get it right. And we are going to go over the outside of it with a beautiful array of seasonings. And we have 1/4 teaspoon each of the following seasonings: basil leaves, cumin, lemon pepper, thyme, oregano, and sage. 1/4 teaspoon each. And then finally, we're going to top it with a little garnish of parsley for color and texture. So, you got all that? Good, then let's begin. First of all, what we're going to do, we'll come over here and we are going to heat up our skillet. Turn it on nice and high and reach for what usually would be olive oil, but since we have a shortage of olive oil, we're substituting it with vegetable oil. We got plenty of that, so go ahead and pour in just enough to cover. And then what we're going to do first is we're going to give them a little herby rub. So, start rubbing. And we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of the seasoning, of the mixture of all the seasonings we used, onto the tops and the bottoms of your lamb. You just kind of sprinkle it on and then with your hand kind of finish off the job. By holding them in your hand, you can still pretty much capture the seasoning that you put on the top in your hand, because it's better in your hand than all over the counter. Nice little drizzle of the seasonings on the bottoms. Be careful when touching hot oil. There we go. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to let that cook for a little bit on both sides, and we're going to flip them with our tongs. Let's also give a little sprinkle of sea salt too on the top. Just over the top like that. And we are using sea salt. Nothing better in the world. I guess for later. Now, while it's still cooking up like that, let's go ahead and grab another one of these guys. We're going to grab our 1/2 teaspoon and go into our minced garlic. I would mince this by hand, but it takes too much time, so I like it already minced. It doesn't really matter. Now what we're going to do with the 1/2 teaspoon, just going to sprinkle some garlic, minced garlic over the top of that. So that way when you flip it, it's going to roast that garlic good and plenty. So fresh, as fresh as you can get, garlic minced on the tops of those. Get everywhere there. And then soon should be time for flipping. Now, there's no real measure of garlic that you can add. You just pretty much add this to taste. Because a lot of you like a lot of garlic, some of you like a little, some of you like just a touch. I like garlic. I love the smell of garlic, I love the taste of garlic, I love everything about garlic, and it keeps the vampires away. So, there you go. Now, we're probably only going to just do the tops of these because garlic is a very strong flavor.
So make sure that they don't stick to the bottom of your pan. And carefully flip the lamb chops over. And look at that, your seasoning just stays right in the meat there. And follow through with all the rest of your lamb shoulder chops on the tops. You might notice that your garlic will start taking swims. It's okay. It adds all to the flavor. It goes back into your meats. It's just after the flavor, not the texture, right? All right. There we go. Flip this guy over. And finally, this guy. Now, when you get to this point, you could add more garlic on the top, but we already got plenty of garlic in there. So, go ahead and cover that. Once you flip it over, we're going to cover it and let it cook and let it cook up for a bit. And while we're doing that, let's get some corn made. Now, let's check our lamb. See how far we're coming along. Now, what we're looking for is a nice tinge around the edges. Look at that garlic is roasting up nicely. See, some of that garlic did stay on there, along with the seasonings. Now, this is an early stage watching the lamb become cooked, but I wanted to see the results of our searing. There we go. That's a good one. That's good searing. Notice that some has a lot of garlic and some do not. Let's go ahead and flip it over. Try to cook some more on the other side. Maybe some of that garlic that's in excess will kind of leak back onto the meat again. You can only hope. But if not, you can always add a little bit more garlic for good measure, just on the safe side. But I think that's plenty of garlic to work with. So I think we're in a safe zone. Let's go ahead and put our oil away too. Okay, now, are you getting hungry yet? Boy, I sure am. And I love me some lamb chops, and you will too. Just follow this recipe. Since we can't really stuff lamb shoulder chops because they're so thin, they're so thinly cut, you can't really cut into them without boring holes all over them. So what we're going to do is, instead of stuffing it, what we're going to do is crumble up some feta cheese and sprinkle it over the top. So, and we're going to do that right when we pull them off of the fire here, so that way it gives a little melt to it. Just take the feta cheese and just crumble it in your hands. It's very easy to crumble. It's almost like blue cheese. Very crumbly. And you can get big crumbles, little crumbles, medium-sized crumbles. Just crumble it up into a bowl. Come back over here to our lamb. You definitely want to keep a good eye on this lamb, especially since we have the flame on pretty high. And you'll notice that your lamb will start to strip away from the bone on its own like that. We're going to turn it over once again. Okay, that's what we're looking for. You see that? That's exactly what we're looking for. A nice burn right here, 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 and here. That's beautiful. Look, that looks good too. Ooh.
Almost done.
Almost. That guy we're going to have to move to the center because we didn't get much. But that guy got cooked. Not because of the bone. You won't get much singeing there. Over here, I'm expecting a lot of singeing all around there. Let's go ahead and move this guy in toward the middle. That's where the hottest part of the pan is, right there in the middle. And cook the rest of them like that. And then, while we're doing that, let's get out 3 plates. Okay? Now a lot of you really go for a lot of good stuffed lamb. Unfortunately, shoulder chops don't give you enough of the thickness you need to make them thick. But if that happens, what you need to do is go to the butcher shop and get a thicker cut. Tell the butcher, I need thick cut lamb chops. And preferably, the thicker the better. So that way when you can slice into them, you can stuff them with pretty much whatever you want. You can stuff it with feta cheese, cottage cheese, regatta cheese. You can stuff it with pretty much anything. You can stuff it with your friend's brains. Brains. I meant cauliflower. Cauliflower. It might look like brains. Especially when you stain them pink. Then they look just like human brains that have been shrunken down and miniaturized into bite-sized little morsels. That isn't Halloween fun. I'm going to have to show you how to make human brains sometime. If you have some extra feta cheese left over and you're making pastaroni or any kind of pasta on the side of this, take some of the extra feta cheese and sprinkle it over the top of your pasta, your sides. It goes great with pretty much anything. Blue cheese too. Blue cheese, feta cheese, any kind of cheese as long as it crumbles up really good like this. And then top it off with parsley. Okay, now what we're going to do is, while it's still nice and piping hot, I'm going to remove our lamb, place it carefully onto a plate. Now comes the fun part, cheesing. And while it's still warm, I'm going to sprinkle some of that feta right on top of your lamb, with just as little or as much feta cheese as you want, and let the heat from the lamb melt the cheese just a bit. And not to be forgetting, to top it off, a little bit of parsley. To get a pinch is all it takes, and just go right across the top of that until you give it a nice green on the cup for color. A beautiful lush green crowning touch to your lamb and feta. Voila! Lamb and feta. Have some with a little bit of corn on the side for a very complete meal. It cannot be beat. Here we go. Everybody gets an even amount of corn this time. A little toss or two. Take your spoon and just serve it right on the side of that. Here it comes. That is about as complete as possible, but before we go on, let's grab a little bit of more cilantro. And what we're going to do is, with some fresh cilantro, is we're going to garnish a little with cilantro leaves on the top. So bring forth the cilantro! And hey, as if by magic, actually works. I wasn't even planning on that. Here's the cilantro, and what we're going to do is, instead of cutting it, we're just going to take a little off the top here. Or, if you want to, take a few sprigs. What we're going to do, just take a few sprigs off the top, nothing major. And with that, garnish the top of that with your cilantro. Cilantro is a very enriching flavor, very delicious. I love cilantro, and it gives a beautiful accent to your creation. Stay there. And that's pretty much it. Now you can add a little extra cilantro on the sides of your plates for plate decor. Since we have pulled off a few extra leaves, this will be the plate decor. And you can also decorate your plate with fresh parsley as well if you want to, but I like cilantro. It's got a flavor that can't be beat. And there you have it. Lamb feta, or feta lamb. However you call it, I'm sure it's going to be out of this world. So, from all of us here at the Old Poppet Studio, to all of you out there, grab a fork, grab a knife, and dig into some really good eating. So let's take a taste test and see how well this came out. Starting off with the pastaroni.
Did you want to put feta in there?
Well, yeah, you can put feta cheese on top of the pastaroni. Good idea. Forgot about that. Now, if you have some extra feta cheese, what you could also do is sprinkle some on the top of your pastaroni. Pastaroni with the feta. In fact, that is a pretty good idea, is to make sure that your feta cheese don't go to waste. There you go, just toss it right onto the top of there. Get it mixed around real good. And I could use a little bit more there. There we go. So do this one. And this one for sure. Okay. A little extra parsley on the top for good measure. if you want to, grab a little bit more parsley, sprinkle over the top of that. Or your pastoroni there with your feta cheese on the top. And there you have it. Pastoroni with feta. Lamb chops with feta. Corn, no feta. So, from all of us here at the Old Puppet Studio, we're going to test this out in a moment, but first of all, I'd like to say thank you for tuning in. So grab a fork, grab a knife, and dig into some really good eating here. And remember what I always say, if you're not cooking good, you're definitely not eating good. So be prepared for some mighty fine good eating right here in the kitchen of the Old Puppet Studios. C'est magnifique.
Shut up quick.
Yeah, as soon as I hit record. Hey, wait a minute. Sonic. Oh, what's that behind you?
Oh, this is Stinky, our new pet. See, this little guy is what is known as a stink bug. Now, when you see one of these in your house, you don't want to smash it. You don't want to step on it, and you don't want to kill it. What you want to do is capture it and send it back out into the wild.
Yeah, because if you don't, it smells.
It'll stink up your entire house, and it'll smell worse than 10 skunks camping out at your doorstep.
Yeah.
So, we are going to leave Stinky alone, or Kiva's going to grab him with a towel, try to coax him off of our blinds. Come on, Stinky. It's okay. Aw, poor little Stinky. Come here, Stinky.
He's like, no, I want to stay here. I want to watch and see what you guys are doing.
Oh no, this isn't a place for stink bugs. Come on, Stinky.
Stinky.
Come on, Stinky.
Wasn't that one of the characters off of Casper?
It was. It was also the name of Snippy's son, Stinky. There goes. There goes Stinky. Okay. Now we're going to take care of little Stinky here. And then once he's released back out into the wild, it kind of makes me feel like Steve Irwin in a way, then we're going to get on with our recipe. And there goes Stinky, back out into the wild where he belongs.
Get off the paper towel.
He likes his paper towel.
He wants
There you go.
to stay on there.
He likes the paper towels, cozy.
Yeah.
So, treating stink bugs like royalty here at the Old Puppet Studio. We roll out the white paper towel for them.
Oh,
We would have a red carpet, but we don't even have
I
one.
don't think you. I don't think you would.
Actually, I'm gonna need your help on some parts. Then.
What's what?
Okay, are you done with your temper tantrum now? Yeah, screen caption that one, people.
Who says this was going into the video edit?
No, but they're gonna they'll probably see it in the credits. Just make sure no credits are rolling when you do it, so they can screen caption it.
First, we're going to take and open. Oh, isn't that nice? They gave us a little bit of an opening tab here. A little tab. We're going to just rip this thing open. Come on. Open. There we go. Gotta be stronger than the packaging that it comes in. See, they make it that tight not only to keep it fresh, but also to prevent people from stealing it. What we're also going to do is when it's finished, since we can't really stuff shoulder pork, or since we can't really stuff pork,
Lamb shoulder chop.
okay,
I don't know why it just came to
lamb
me.
shoulder chops. Okay, since we can't really stuff lamb shoulder